Hey everybody, Tech May here. I'm hanging out with one mechanic tonight, and we're gonna put him in the hot seat and interview him. I thought of a new series where I take the friends I've made from Instagram and YouTube, and I personally would like to get to know them a little bit better. Man, I can't talk. So I have come up with a series of questions, and I'm going to ask Dave tonight. So let's jump right on into this. Mr. One Mechanic. Are you okay with me calling you Dave, or do you want me to stick with One Mechanic?
I kind of like Mister, but no, Dave is fine.
Okay. How and why did you decide to get into the trade?
Uh, how I got into it was when I was 16. My father bought me my first car, '79 Camaro Berlin Netta from the auto
Ooh,
auction.
you're fancy.
It, it was a slick car for this time. Uh, Back in '87, I
I don't
think.
think I was around then, but okay.
Yeah,
I'll take your word for this one.
shut up, shut up. But it had some front end damage and stuff, and my birthday's basically a week before Christmas. So I got the car on the birthday, and for Christmas, I got the parts to fix it. About a year later, in the 305s, they had soft cams in them. It was known. And I rubbed the cam off and had to put a cam in it. And I had no clue. Dad, he was an old hot rodder and hands on kind of guy. We put a cam and stuff in it, and I remember adjusting the valves on it, hydraulic valves, while the engine was running, and all the valves just moving back and forth and adjusting them. I thought, this is pretty cool crap right here. This is the bomb. And from then on, it just grew and grew and grew. So, and it was easy for me personally to pick up.
That's good.
So,
So from that, what was your first mechanic job then?
I guess technically it'd be after high school. I worked auto parts stores for a while, but after high school, I got a job at Penske on the fuel island. So my main job was fueling trucks and washing trucks.
Okay.
But I had to go to night shift for a while, and the night shift manager, he would let me do some simple repairs and stuff like that. So even though officially I was a mechanic then, I was doing really light mechanic work.
It counts. And from there, where did you do? Or where'd you
Uh,
go?
well, actually, right after that, I went because I wanted money, and they couldn't. I was there 3.5 years. I was supposed to already be in as an apprentice, and they didn't know when it's going to happen. And I got offered a job driving a truck for 25 cents a mile, and like a stupid idiot, I took it, and I drove over the road for a year, and then I got off of that, drove locally for 5 years, and him and hummered around, and got a job. Well, actually, I opened up my own shop, truck accessory shop,
Oh,
and we did some light mechanics, but we did mostly spray liners, hitches, stuff like that. From that, I became a Zamboni driver, which we had to do some basic work on the Zamboni and stuff. That was pretty fun for a year. Then I got a job with Moxie Trucks of America, worked there for a while. Then I worked with a national lease affiliate for a while, back to Moxie for a while, took some time off for the family business, and then, well, I hurt my back actually. Went back to that national lease affiliate, and then worked my way back up to where I am now. So I've jumped around for a little while. This is probably the longest mechanics job I've had, which is going on 8 years here pretty soon.
okay. It's a decent amount of time. And you think you'll stay your time out there, or do you think you're gonna try to look for something different?
No, I'm going to stay.
Good.
Um, it's a government job with a municipality, and with
Okay.
the benefits and stuff. I could be making more money somewhere else, but I love the variety. I love my bosses. 15 more years, I can retire.
And the
Health
benefits.
benefits. Yeah, health benefits, time off. I get vacation pay. I get sick time. I get personal time.
Do
I can
you
take a
get birthday pay?
no,
I get
but
birthday pay. Ooh,
but if I had a significant other who had a child,
you got time off?
I for 1 month. Yep,
Wow, that's unheard of.
for the man. Yeah. Now it
That is
doesn't pay a full paycheck. It only pays 76%.
okay.
So you can use personal time or vacation time to fill in the rest if you want a full paycheck.
But
But
hey, at
still,
least get something. I
yeah.
remember when I was at the dealership, we had two guys have babies within like 6 months of each other, and they got so much crap for taking 1 week off.
Hmm.
And I mean, obviously they use their own vacation time for it. And I was just like, wow, that's that sucks. My cousin used to work for Microsoft, and he got his wife pregnant or fiance pregnant. He got 3 months off,
Paid?
paid.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I
Uh,
I heard that, and that's unheard of.
a buddy of mine works at P&G, or he used to. I think he got 2 or 3 months off also.
Yeah,
It's been so long ago that I don't actually remember. So
that's crazy. All right, what are your favorite jobs to do that you do at your work? So if you had to do one job, well, maybe not for the rest of your life because that's boring. But if you could pick your day, what job would you pick?
I like electrical a lot. Um, I'm pretty good with electrical, and I would say fabricating would be my second one.
So with fabricating, did you know how to weld going in, or metal work? I guess I should say, or is that something they taught you?
Uh, no and no. Um, I took welding or metal class in high school,
Okay,
which included welding and stuff like that, but I'm not certified. I've been playing around with the idea of going to a vocational school at nighttime to actually learn welding on a professional level.
level.
Um, but welding is one of those things that you're going to suck at it at the beginning, but you just
Yeah,
keep doing it and you
yeah.
start learning stuff and you're learning
Technique.
how exactly. And with a stick welder, it might look ugly, but it's hard to fail with a stick welder
Yeah,
because it puts
I
so much heat into the metal, you know.
I've actually talked about going and getting some welding under my belt too. I just think it'd be cool, another skill to add to the list. Um,
Absolutely.
so you said you're not certified in welding. Do you have to be like ASE certified or certified in anything to for ODOT?
For the municipality that I
Yeah.
work at, because I don't work at ODOT, I work at a different city.
Oh,
But uh,
why
technically,
was I
no.
thinking ODOT? See, now I just
A
all
lot of
right.
people do,
My bad.
but not. Uh, uh, but there's no ASC certification for welding. Welding has its own certification. It's its own thing.
Okay.
So
But to like work on the cars, do you have to be ASE or the trucks? Or I know you work on way more than that, but
uh, so I personally don't. My level, um, I'm technically titled as an auto mechanic,
okay.
even though I hardly ever work on cars. I work on everything else but cars, really. But we also have an auto tech, which is an ASE mechanic in the garage. So,
Okay.
and he's sort of a leader, but not really.
That makes sense.
It, it's a formality, I think, more than anything else. Except for he gets $4 extra an hour.
Oh, bastard. So we talked about your favorite kind of jobs. What are your least favorite?
Services,
Like
oil
oil change.
changes, brake inspection, greasing.
So
Uh,
brake inspection, do you like doing brakes or no?
well, actually, I don't mind brakes, whether it's a pickup truck or a big truck. I don't mind brakes. I hate jacking up the. We have a four-post drive-on lift, so I hate putting trucks up on it and pulling the wheels. And you got to pull them to inspect them anyway. We don't really rotate tires because we drive on the side of the road so much that we ever hardly ever have a tire wear out because of wear.
Yeah, run over things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, trash are picking up, or somebody cut a post off too far above
yeah.
ground, or
There's so many things.
work out at a construction site and run over somebody's screwdriver.
So screwdriver. What would your favorite tool be? Do you have a favorite tool? I don't know. Some people are just like, these are some nice sockets. This is my favorite tool.
Favorite? Well, if you follow my Instagram, you know that I like to write wrenches. I really do like them.
Those seem to be getting a lot of attention the last like week.
Yeah. Um, I think I don't know if it's because of me or not, but I
We
think a
can
lot of
say it
people are
was.
starting. Sure, yeah, it's my fault. I'll take a dividend from everybody who uses that now.
Hey,
But
you said it first.
well, as a first mechanic, I think, but of course they've been around forever.
Yeah.
But I just love the tool. They're priced decently, and I hate the fact that um, all these new tool companies that are out, they have these decent wrenches. Don't get me wrong, but they only go up like Capri, but they only go up to like 1 inch or 22 millimeter. So for automotive, that might be fine, but they're really
Not when I'm
cutting out.
using.
Well, but they're really cutting out, the bigger stuff.
Yeah.
They're not making anything. You know, my wrenches, my basic set of wrenches go up to inch and a quarter or 32 millimeter. I have them bigger than that,
Yeah.
but
For the
for our job, for basic wrenches that you normally use, you'd have that.
yeah.
That's and that's another thing I like about the right stuff is that you can buy the set and then you can keep adding on to it because they'll sell you individual wrenches.
Yeah. I could definitely see how that'd get annoying trying to buy a set of wrenches and it only being 8 to 19. I think that's what I just got those Capri wrenches for Brooke.
Yeah.
They came yesterday, I think. And I mean, I guess you're right. It is fine for automotive for what we're using it for because we're just gonna be using it for basic maintenance. And her caliper bolts might be bigger than a 19, but
Well,
I don't know.
most caliber, well, it depends on what it is, but like on a GM truck, caliber bolts are 21
21.
or 22 millimeter. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I guess even if you want to do a basic brake job, you're gonna have to go buy another wrench.
so now you're going to go buy a Craftsman wrench or a Husky wrench or
Can't do that.
and to me, I'm not the most organized person, but it annoys me to have all these different
Yeah,
things,
I get that. Have 2 Snap-on, 1 Mac, 8 Matco, which nobody has Matco wrenches. If I'm taking what? I didn't say that. Craftsman, Harbor Freight. Who knows? I'm sure
Yeah.
there's a million different tool brands, and we'll never hear about half of them.
Oh, it seems like there's a new one coming out, all the
Every day.
time.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
am I expert? Half-inch drive, shallow impacts because they're shallower than most. I like those.
the expert, okay,
Yeah.
which is
And
Mac, right?
right. Because oh, it's a rebrand. It's not. Mac owns Expert.
Okay.
Expert is a Taiwan-made tool, but or not Mac. Stanley owns them. So it's a rebrand of one of their own products. But I've had great luck with them, and I love, like I said, how extra short they are.
And you said that's 3/8.
Half inch. The
Half inch.
3/8 though is also really good. I just got some nano sockets, and I'm going to do a comparison size
Ooh,
wise between the nanos and the um, experts.
that'd be interesting to see. I'll be looking forward to that. If you could have that done by Sunday night at 5 p.m., that'd be great. Thank you.
I'm going to be a
Uh,
little late.
if you had one piece of advice for the younger generation who are trying to get into either automotive, big heavy machinery, anything mechanics, what would you tell them?
I would say not to be cocky.
Number one, don't be cocky. If you don't know, you don't know, and just admit it.
Well, exactly. And even if you think you know it, ask a senior mechanic. And don't argue with the senior mechanic.
Are you sure?
I'm really sure.
That's the one that would always get me. Why are you asking me if you think you know and you know I know? Not that I was ever a
Exactly.
senior mechanic, but with the little things, just like, yeah.
Well, well, we had a guy, um, our personal experience. So we had a guy that went to technical school, graduated a 2-year course in 4 years. Well, anyway, but he had the fancy automotive science or whatever they called it. So he comes into our garage and we asked him if he ever replaced the heater core in a big truck before. Oh yeah, tons of them. In a big truck? And he goes, well, no, I mean a car. It's like, but you just said yes. What was your point to that? You know, and hydraulics. Most people don't realize that with heavy equipment, hydraulics, you don't open the cap. It's under pressure
Yeah.
because oil expands during the heat, and there's a valve on the cap to release the pressure. You know, if you don't work in heavy equipment, ask questions. It's not a stupid question.
No.
You know,
And you don't ask that question, you're in danger. So,
endangering yourself, endangering the people around you.
yeah, that was always my biggest thing when I worked at the shop was I came in not knowing anything and I wasn't afraid to admit it. And my theory behind that was why pretend to know something around a bunch of people who really do know what they're doing and then look like an idiot and no one's ever going to trust you with anything.
Right.
So that was my thought. And we did have a couple younger people that would just like you, they either went to high school automotive or the 2-year programs and they came and they thought they knew everything. Oh, I don't need help setting this rack. I know how to do an oil change as you're pulling a trans plug, but whatever.
Well,
Uh,
well,
things like that.
that guy that was certified was for some reason using an impact to install an oil drain plug on Fords. He stripped out 3 of them,
Ooh.
and one of them, it's a little bit ingenious of him, but he put a big thick washer on it and an O-ring around it to get into the good threads that he didn't mess up so it wouldn't leak, and it didn't leak. So kudos on him for that, but he screwed up 3 of them. Why would you use an impact?
Right?
I mean, if you want to take it off, okay, which I still think is weird personally, but
I
to put
agree
it
with that
on.
one.
So I mean, and he was
Oh,
certified though. You know, he had his schooling. He graduated with a. Well, he says he graduated with a high GP, but
oh,
I like to see his transcripts personally.
yeah. Those kids, I guess they'll learn their own way, right? You can't want it more than they do, except they think they just know everything.
Well, that would be my other advice. If for some reason you don't like automotive, get out of it. Don't waste your time. Don't waste the other person's time. You'll start doing sloppy work.
Yeah. Not
And
only that, but if you don't want to be in automotive, you'll save yourself so much money because you don't have to worry about buying tools
right,
or upgrading tools, not even necessarily buying because How often do you need to upgrade something, or you break something and you didn't get a warranty on it? Except most things
Well,
come with warranties now. But
yeah, I think it's kind of weird to have mechanics that are not into some kind of machinery, whether it's a beautiful Ferrari or um, a rat rod or a big truck. You
yeah,
know, I mean, to me, your heart needs to be in it. Even if you're a machine mechanic, like a factory machine mechanic, you know, some of those old machines, especially turn of the century machines,
yeah.
are pretty cool. Backwoods Mechanic, when he does the old dryers and old machinery, I love that crap. I love those videos.
I don't know if I've seen one of those, but I definitely want to. And I think I'm almost positive I follow him. I know I follow him on Instagram.
Yeah, he's a good
But
guy, nice guy.
yeah, I agree with you. Stuff like that to me is so cool. Do I know necessarily a lot about it? Probably not, but I could ask you some questions to learn about it. That's for sure.
Exactly.
So, all right, my last question, and it's probably maybe not the best one. I guess we'll let the viewers decide on what question they think they like the best. But what made you
Comment below.
decide? Yeah, what made you decide to make an Instagram/YouTube? Which one did you have first? I don't even know. For one
Uh,
mechanic,
YouTube was before my Instagram.
really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
and
Okay, so
I
go.
kept I kept watching all these videos on these toolbox tours and stuff like that, and I always thought it was interesting what guys were using.
Okay.
Not really necessarily name brands, but the kind of tools, especially tools, maybe something like that. And actually, I was looking to get a cart, and I don't want to spend that much money for a cart and everything else. And at that time, Harbor Freight, before they got all crazy with the icons and all the YouTube channels getting free icon stuff and not actually using the icon stuff. Um, but you could buy a 5 drawer Harbor Freight cart for, was it 150, 160 with a coupon?
It's a good
Like heck,
price.
yeah. So I bought one, and honestly, and I only had it for a year because I upgraded to a used Mac sliding top cart. But for that 1 year, I had no problem with it. it. And all the problems I hear about with them, I question were they put together right because instructions are a little weird, and
Okay.
also are they taking care of it?
Yeah.
I used to have this one guy that told me that I'm not a real mechanic because my tools are clean. Well, I make money with my tools, so I take care of my tools, so I wipe down my tools before I put them back. I mean, that seems like a weird thing to me, but
Yeah.
maybe wherever he is, or maybe he's used to using 5 gallon buckets as a tool. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, everybody has their own thing. Um, but the video, sorry, off track.
It's all right.
But,
It happens.
but I was looking for card ideas, and I bought the Harbor Freight, and everybody else was doing a tour of it and stuff like that, and I was pretty happy with it. I got set up, which I thought was pretty good at the time, which is still on my YouTube page, and showed it off, and people liked it for some reason. So I got the Mac one and upgraded it, and people like that one. I did a comparison between the two. And then I wanted to add on to that Mac box, and then called a Mac dealer in, and he's like, "Well, for a little more money, I can buy you a whole new one." I bought the whole new one, and then because we had the dealer, I started buying other tools off of him. I think my next purchase was the Expert ratcheting wrenches,
Okay.
and I bought them because they went up to 1.25 inches. Honestly, they're not a great wrench. They're okay, but they're not a great wrench. Like, I would not buy them again
Okay.
personally. But it just evolved, from there and there, and people kept subscribing and liking it, and mostly good comments, and kind of
Mostly.
got into it.
You always have that one.
Or two or three.
Sometimes they're your friends who are just making fun of you, but it's all good and
That
fun.
that part's great, but you have people that are jealous.
Well, there's always
I
somebody who, oh, you're doing it wrong. You're not doing it my way. So
well,
you got to.
I have one person, and he's attacked other channels too. That's caused issues. He's trying to get people fired. He's actually
Yeah.
try to get my channel down and try to get me fired, and I don't know why.
Well,
He,
you made it.
you know who Brandon is, don't you? Bearded CB,
Yeah, he's a good guy.
very good guy. Um, Matter of fact, his channel is the first channel I subscribed to on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah, but he did the same thing to him, and his company will no longer let him record after hours in the garage because they don't want to deal with it.
And see, there's always somebody that's got to ruin it for everybody, because that's just good content. And like, why could you be mad about that? Why does it even affect you?
I think it's somebody who's jealous. This person has attacked bigger channels. They've uh, they've attacked Mr. Coon, CP, Mr. Dow. I mean, Justin Sergel. I mean, I think he's jealous. Honestly, I mean, I don't really know what his reason is.
Yeah, that's
Um,
unfortunate.
it is somebody that would live with that much hate in them and stuff like that. I mean, if you don't like it, turn
Don't
off,
watch. Yeah, don't watch
unsubscribe.
it. I am a very big believer myself in being nice to everybody. I try. I like everybody. Everybody I have met in my YouTube and Instagram journey has been flipping amazing. I couldn't have asked for a better support team. And at first, I was just like, I'm not going to do this. Like, this is going to be weird. And then you were the first person to reach out to me. And here I am
So,
a little
so
over a year
sorry.
later. So it's your fault. Sorry
Yeah,
for these bad videos you guys awkwardly watch of me. But
my
yeah,
fault. No,
so
I think
I,
it's fun. It's a hobby. If you can help somebody out, I get people ask me all the time, especially on Instagram. Hey, I saw your video on this. Do you still recommend this?
yeah,
Or I'm just starting. I had a gentleman who works as an automotive mechanic, but he wants to get into heavy equipment
okay,
on the side, and he bought a small Ford Ranger, and he asked stuff I'd recommend to start with to get his job done. And last time I talked to him, he's bought a cutting torch, and I mean he's
oh,
gotten it. I think he's moving away from the automotive altogether and going into
and
equipment because he likes it so much. But yeah, stuff
wow,
like that makes me feel great.
yeah, I agree. I don't have anything that inspiring, but every once in a while, somebody will just be like, "Hey, I know you used to work on these," or like, "Hey, can you help me with this?" I've had that a couple times, and just to like feel like you actually know something and you can help somebody else out is just I'm here to help.
Right.
So
Well, I mean, and we should be a brotherhood, sisterhood. You know, even though we might work on different things,
yeah,
it's still the same issues, same troubles. Just sometimes parts are smaller, sometimes parts are bigger.
yeah, way bigger, way smaller.
And I don't see the point into arguing about it or being mad at somebody.
Mm-mm.
Uh, um, I talk to a lot of cat mechanics and egg mechanics and stuff like that
Yeah,
because I'm
I follow
kind
a
of
couple of them.
my. See, I don't. I feel like my position as a fleet mechanic, I'm the mutt of mechanics
Yeah,
because I don't specialize in any one thing.
you
Where
do
like
everything,
you worked at a dealership, you knew things about Cadillac, GMC, and Buick, was it?
something like
Um,
that.
like you knew those lines, you did a lot of engine work and stuff like that. Um, I hardly do any kind of engine work. If I do any kind of engine work, I have to look up the specs because I just don't know it. I don't do it
You
enough.
don't do it enough.
But hydraulics, systems, conveyors, sweepers, brooms, patching equipment, signboards, trailers, all that stuff. So, like, I know a lot. I know a little bit about a lot of things, but not a lot about any one thing.
but you know enough to get through it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. You got
and
it down.
I love the variety too. I hear
Yeah,
guys
you
that
never
get
know what you're
bored
gonna get.
working. Right, I hear guys that get bored working on a particular model all the time, or only Kenworths or pack cars, or they get bored with that, work on the same thing, and I understand that.
Yeah. You get
So
complacent that way. 100% get complacent.
yeah,
So, do you think you have any questions you want to ask yourself?
ask myself,
Yeah.
not in public.
Okay. Well, I guess then with that, if you guys like our video, please follow One Mechanic on Instagram and YouTube. And it is just at One Mechanic, correct?
One mechanic, yep.
One Mechanic. Okay. And you can follow me at TechMay on YouTube, and it's TechMay in Training on Instagram. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Questions, comments, concerns below. Maybe not so much concerns with Dave being my first guest. If there's anybody else you'd want to see me interview with these questions, and as I adapt, we'll get some more questions. So please let me know who you want to interview. And with that, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.
Ciao.